Catherine and gentlemen, start your engines.
Craig McTavish, ladies and gentlemen, everybody enjoy
the command delivered to fire the motors. The Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton about to begin. Craig McTavish, the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, runner-up in the Stanley Cup Finals just a few weeks ago. Right. Welcome to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The 8th round in this year's Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Alongside is Derek Daly. Jan Beekes and Cameron Steele on pit road. Michelle Beisner with us as well for all the coverage of today's event. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, can A.J. Allmendinger, who's won 3 in a row, make it 4 here today? You know the story by now. Fired by Rousport this year, then hired by Forsyth, all within a week's time. Then adding to the legend, his first victory at Portland, backed up with wins at Cleveland and Toronto. A firestorm performance that has the whole field, including his teammate Paul Tracy, wondering if he can ever be stopped. One driver who thinks he can stop him is Sébastien Bourdais, who won the first 4 races this season. Bourdais back on pole. He claims the Bridgestone Pole Award and the McDonald's #1 worth $5,000. He's the pole starter for the 4th time this year. Dominguez, Junqueira, and Wilson, along with the 3-time winner Allmendinger, other drivers to claim the Bridgestone Pole Award this season. Our starting lineup today, powered by Ford. Bourdais on pole in car #1. Paul Tracy alongside in the Index Forsyth, car #3. Second row, the CDW9 of Justin Wilson. The Index 7 of A.J. Allmendinger, who's won those last 3 events. Row 3, the Gulfstream car of Oriol Servia. The CTE HVM #4 of birthday boy Nelson Philippe. Row 4 here today, Will Power in the Aussie Vineyards, car #5. Andrew Ranger in the Tide MyJack, car #27. Fifth row, Bruno Junqueira, the hole-in-the-wall Camps Deuce. And Mario Dominguez in the Sonny's Barbecue, #19 for Dale Coyne's team. Sixth row, the Aussie Vineyards 15 of Alex Tagliani. The Muirmans, car #11 of Jan Halen, will start 12th here this weekend. Seventh row, Charles Wolzman, the rookie, MyJack 34. And the former series champ Cristiano D'Amata in the Rousport, car #10. Row 8, Catherine Legge in the Bell Micro, #20 for the PKV team. Nicky Pastorelli's had a difficult weekend returning in the Rocket Sports 8. Dan Clark wrecked yesterday in the CTE HVM car. And Denise Kasevets in the Flexivite, car #18. Field is on the racetrack here in Edmonton. Second renewal of this event. Driver goes to victory lane today. We'll have plenty of sweet emotion to call on at the end of the event.
CBS Sports coverage of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford, is sponsored by Ford. Bold moves. And by Bridgestone Tires. Passion for excellence.
Midway through the 2006 Champ Car World Series season, here's the championship battle. Bourdais is still the leader, but Allmendinger with those 3 consecutive wins, just 25 points back in second. Wilson right there as well. Then you've got a log jam for 4th. Ranger, Tagliani, and Tracy. Derek, take us around this 14-turn road course.
And this is built on an airport facility much like Cleveland. It is fast. In fact, it is very, very fast. Turns 13 and 14 are almost frightening when you see the cars come through there. Very hard to keep your car in control at a track this fast. Have a look at our onboard cameras.
3 different onboard looks. We'll ride with Nelson Philippe in that Wellbox CTE HVM car #4. Philippe celebrating his 20th birthday here this weekend. We will watch him at work among a couple of other views on board that machine. Great run going at Toronto before a huge wreck. We'll ride with the CDW car of Justin Wilson, car #9. We'll look back at Wilson. 2 wins last year, still searching for his first victory of 2006. We also have onboard looks today with Andrew Ranger in the Tide MyJack, car #27. Good qualifying effort for the MyJack team. Ranger still age 19. It's been a warm weekend here, Derek.
It is a glorious day of sunshine here, just perfect for racing, maybe a touch warm for the drivers. This is physically one of the most difficult racetracks to compete on. It's so fast and the G-forces are so high.
Now, what will we see here in terms of race strategies and pit windows?
When you look at the pit window, laps 17 to 35, that is the time that you can stop for a load of fuel and still make it on what we call a normal strategy. If there's yellows, that could change.
Getting ready for green, Paul Tracy has had a challenging weekend in qualifying Saturday. PT trying to snag the pole here. Instead lost the index car number 3, backed it into the wall, knocked the rear wing off. One more look at it. They were able to bring that car to pit road. Not a lot of damage. The Forsythe team going to work, putting that wing on. PT came out today. He did come back and snag the second quick time in the final qualifying session. He had to give up his fastest lap. He had problems in the morning warm-up today. The car got away from him, but he was able to gather it back up. No damage, and Tracy will start in second spot alongside Bourdais. 85 laps to go. Glad to have you with us for the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton. The 8th race of 2006. We're underway. One car goes around, one car into the wall. D'Amata hard into the tire barrier. Trouble in turn 1 at Edmonton. Bruno Junqueira, yeah.
Hard to believe, and D'Amata looked like an innocent bystander. Had nowhere to go. Boy, he just rocketed straight into the wall. Have a look here. There's Junqueira spins, but D'Amata had nowhere to go because it looked like Tagliani on the outside, and Dominguez drove around the outside of Junqueira and left D'Amata nowhere to go except bury it into the wall. Here it is again. Watch middle of your screen, middle of the screen right there. Here's Bruno, just loses it all by himself. There goes Tag to the outside. He takes Dominguez with him. He didn't touch Cristiano, but he led him straight to the tire wall.
Now the two Team Australia cars, Will Power out-qualified his teammate Tagliani, and I think that was power that Junqueira just had to avoid there, and that threw, of course, D'Amata into the tire.
Hard to believe. Start number 100 for Cristiano D'Amata, and he does hardly make it 100 yards. This is a celebration earlier on this morning at the Roo Sports tent. Tagliani on the right side, Oriol Servia, Jimmy Vassar there, all drivers who are here this weekend who also competed in 100 events at least. Boy, look at that.
D'Amata off the racetrack, being escorted away by the Champ Car safety team. Among the drivers today with more than 100 starts, Paul Tracy is the leader with 244 coming in here today. He was unable to make that ceremony this morning.
Look at Junqueira. He has 81 starts. What a disaster.
Yeah, he is
first corner, and he just didn't get the timing right in qualifying. Spun, hit the wall. So many people spun this weekend. This is a very difficult racetrack to keep your car between the grass verges.
So we do not complete one lap under green. The Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton, we're underway, and Sebastian Bourdais with the pole, Tracy alongside. We'll be right back.
Since joining Forsythe Racing, American sensation AJ Allmendinger hasn't lost once, but with great success also comes great consequence. Neil Nickelwright, who's VP of Operations for Forsythe, said, "You win once, I go blonde. You win twice, I go pink. You win 3 times, I go bald." Check it out.
Coming up, your chance to enter the Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Win a trip to the Grand Prix of San Jose, plus a set of Bridgestone Potenzas or a subscription to Auto Week. The grand prize winner gets a new Ford Mustang GT. Joins us in Mexico City for the season finale. Stay tuned for this week's code word. The Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes brought to you by Bridgestone. Our Toronto winners are here this weekend in Edmonton. And they were able to enjoy a ride in the Ford GT. Meeting some of their favorite Champ Car stars, AJ Allmendinger, Paul Tracy, Sebastian Bourdais, and this could be you. Enter today, and you could join us in San Jose next week. Mr. and Mrs. Dupree from Plano, Texas, joining us here this weekend in Edmonton. Preparing for a restart here in Edmonton. Sebastian Bourdais on the pole, Paul Tracy alongside, coming down the final straightaway. They'll be single file through this jog, right then left, and on to the front stretch. Here we go again. This begins lap number 3 of 85, the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton.
That Essence that just came through is almost 160 miles an hour in qualifying. It is frightening to stand down there to see these cars come through. But Tracy, we're expecting Tracy to potentially show the muscle power he's shown in the last couple of days. He believes he has a car as fast as anybody. And this is a place where people are prone to make mistakes. And you make a mistake here, it's usually at high speed.
Third spot belongs to Justin Wilson. Derek, most of the leaders electing to open the race on the Bridgestone alternates, including Paul Tracy. Tracy, of course, looking for his first victory here of 2006. Very fast all weekend. Second in qualifying, despite the spin yesterday, knocking the rear wing off the Forsyth Index 3 car. And Tracy learned a lot, I think, at Toronto. He came second there to A.J. Allmendinger, who won his third consecutive race. But I think Tracy's got some new confidence together this week.
Oh, see that bump on the way in, and then there's a bump right in the middle there. That's what caught out a couple of people. There were some big crashes in qualifying there and in practice. Jan?
Yes, and we have had the long walk for Cristiano D'Amata back to the Rousport engineering facility, as they call it. They're trying to get a quick word with him. He knows that he's going to talk to us. Not the way that you wanted to have your 100th start. What happened?
Well, I was committed on the outside. Somebody spun, or I don't know who touched some. I think it was either a white and red car. Couldn't see. I was being covered by other car a little bit, so started coming towards me, and it was going to collect me. So I had to try to go around the outside, but there wasn't enough space. So ended up hitting the wall there. So, pretty disappointed.
Sorry you're out early. Thank you.
And it looks as though Nicky Pastorelli has gone around. Now, this would be Pastorelli's third wreck of the weekend in the Curaçao car number 8. And Bruno Junqueira, did he get caught up in it as well? No, that's the Bell Micro car going by of Catherine Legge. Pastorelli has stalled the 8 car.
Catherine is involved also. Her wing was hanging off the back of that PKV car. See some skid marks. Not sure where the... Okay, here we go.
Turns 5 and 6 again.
Pastorelli loses it on... Oh, Catherine gets on the brakes to try and miss Pastorelli and just kisses the wall with her rear wing.
Jan Halen has stuck the Muirman's number 11 in the tires as well. So 6 laps, and we are under caution again.
Yes. Catherine talking to her crew, trying to alert them to the condition of the car. And that's Tom Brown, Director of Engineering, telling her, come in right now. Oh, Clark down the inside. Oh, he drop kicks Van Halen. Dan Clark, who had a huge crash at the S's at turn 14, was coming from the back. That was a bit of a brave move by our Dan.
Over the curbing there.
Yeah, they was never going to pull that off. Never going to pull that move off there.
Track safety crew, the Champ Car safety team, the very best in the business, working to bring Halen's machine off the tires. And this is Nelson Philippe in car number 4, the Wellbox Bird Naberg car number 4, celebrating his 20th birthday. Philippe shown in 6th position. You heard Catherine Legge and her team, Tom Brown, talking about how
Clark coming down the inside now. Van Halen doesn't see him, turns in as he normally would. Clark sticks his nose in there, hits the curb, bounces off the curb into the right rear of Van Halen. Jan Halen sends him around, unfortunately, into the tires. And Clark, Dan Clark, Speedy Dan or Desperate Dan, that looks like a desperate move, might have got away with that. Boy, he has been action-packed this year.
Now let's have a look back at some of Dan Clark's exploits just the last couple of races. First at Cleveland, he had second. Well, he was in play here with Mario Dominguez for second. Final lap, they got together. Clark took both he and Dominguez out of podium finishing positions. 2 weeks ago in Toronto, this is Clark to the inside of Charles Wolzman. Got into the wall at the end of the backstretch. Now here, this weekend, check this out. Huge hit into the concrete. They worked all night, repaired the 14 car, and Clark was able to take the green today. Dan Clark, Cameron Steele.
We can see the car is now off. They are working on Catherine Legge's car, and definitely a wing replacement will be coming in. Damon Struick, who is the front outside tire changer, he will be primary on this, and they're working on the car. And again, the car is off because of where they are working on it. And it looks like it's going to be a frustrating situation. They're going to try to get her out as quickly as possible. You can see him struggling now, trying to get it together, as cars will be coming around soon. Also behind us, coming in is Jan Halen, looking for possibly a wing himself.
And we heard from Tom Brown that pits were technically not open, but he said, you're going to be at the back anyway. Let's get in and get this thing fixed. She's now out of sequence on the pits. Toronto was her first DNF of the year.
Beautiful weekend for racing here in Edmonton. Under caution for the second time today. The pole sitter Bourdais is out in front. Back in Edmonton, a chance to take a look at our Mazda Power Play this weekend. Have a look back at the Champ Car Atlantic Championship powered by Mazda in Long Beach. Andreas Wirth scored his first of 2 consecutive victories to open the season. While in Monterrey, Mexico, Graham Rahal was the dominant player there. In Houston, it then was Andreas Wirth. Wirth off to a great start in the championship. Now in Portland, there was this huge wreck in turns 1 and 2. Graham Rahal was taken out immediately at the start. That opened the door for James Hinchcliffe to score an upset win. He came from 10th late in the race. Cleveland was a doubleheader weekend. And Graham Rahal very fast in that Geel car number 18. Dad Bobby there to cheer him on. That's one of the MyJack Conquest cars in Toronto. Again, a turn 1 incident. Several cars involved. Rafael Matos, Rahal taken out. Robbie Pecorari from Pennsylvania scored his first career Atlantic win. That was 2 weeks ago. And the Atlantic event today will follow the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Edmonton. So the Atlantic teams, the feature event in some regards, they will be the final event of the weekend here in Edmonton. And that is something unusual for those drivers and teams. But meantime, getting set to go green once again. Our third try at a lap under green. We're putting lap 9 on the board this time, and it'll be Bourdais and Tracy. Nose to tail. They shared the front row. Wilson and Allmendinger line up behind.
And you can see they're both on the softer, little bit faster of the Bridgestone Red Potenzas. Not as big a difference between the Bridgestone Reds and the regulars this weekend. So everybody just about elects to start on these Reds.
Bourdais slowly bringing them toward the line. Have a look back at what happened to leg here.
This is Catherine again. Watch her come into the bottom right side of your picture. Pastorelli's already in the wall. Catherine realizes she's going to drive right into him, jumps on the brakes, car gets away from her, kisses the wall. So they've elected to bring her in, fix her. She's at the back of the field. Now they're a lap down, but they're hoping to make that up under yellow. And here goes Bourdais again, running from Tracy.
Now remember, a year ago, Bourdais started 10th after problems in qualifying. Came from 10th to win. That's where he likes to be at the head of the class. Riding here with Philippe in car number 4.
Philippe is 6th. Philippe has gone well all weekend here. 20 years old just today. Oh, just gets her a bit sideways. You've got to correct it. These speeds are so high down through these S's. Lots of runoff, I know, but you lose so much time. But if you lose it to the left side, look at that concrete down the left side.
That well-box CTE HVM car number 4, Nelson Philippe, a hard wreck at Toronto 2 weeks ago. What about AJ Allmendinger? Been on the front row the last 3 races. He's won 3 straight. Had to line up 4th here today after they battled back through qualifying, and he is 4th in line right now.
Harder work to do today, does AJ Allmendinger, Jan?
And one of the things he's battling, Derek, is he's feeling very poorly. He has flu-like symptoms and told me this morning, as badly as I feel, I don't think that I can make a race distance. Now, of course, Derek, as you know, once that adrenaline gets pumping, sometimes you feel a lot different. But there's no question, AJ Allmendinger is playing hurt.
You absolutely said it right, Jan. Once the adrenaline goes, nothing like a good sweat to sweat all that badness out of you. Get on with it. You go, he's almost off the road. Man, he put a wheel on the dirt and just about got away with it, did Allmendinger.
This is Tracy 2nd now, leading Wilson in 3rd. Allmendinger is 4th. 5th belongs to Oriol Servia, who started to pick it up in the Bell Micro PKV car, actually the Gulfstream PKV car, car number 6. Bourdais with the quickest lap of the day so far. It's still early, working lap number 11, riding here with Tracy. A year ago, Allmendinger looked as though he had his first career win all but in the bag, Derek, before that late wreck.
And that's what we saw. He blamed himself. But this morning, or in qualifying Friday, he was on fire again. And look at this, boom! That is only 1 corner. Look at this. This is the first time he's damaged a Forsyth car. Saturday, he comes out again and gets it all wrong, trying to get on that front row again, and he almost just did it 2 laps earlier.
The frustration really starting to set in at that point, but today is race day. It's a whole different outlook.
He came back and said to Neil Micklewhite, I'm sorry for what I did to your car. Neil said, never come back and tell us you're sorry. We are so happy that you're driving the wheels off our cars. We will fix it for you and send you out again.
Working lap number 12 of 85. This is Allmendinger sitting fourth. Now, he's been patient these last couple of weeks. He had dominated at Portland, very strong at Cleveland, but came from behind there. Came from behind at Toronto as well 2 weeks ago to win. And at the moment, in fourth position, probably in great shape at the moment.
Yeah, steering is heavy on this car this weekend. Doesn't quite like the feel, finds it a bit hard work. When a driver has heavy steering feel, oftentimes he can't quite position the car where you need it at the apex. And at the speed they go here, you have to be absolutely inch perfect on board now with Andrew Ranger. I thought he did a great job to put that car 8th on the grid. This is the Conquest racing car. So much support in Canada here for Andrew Ranger.
Ranger doing a nice job, fourth in the championship, now tied with Alex Tagliani coming in here. And right behind Ranger is Tagliani. Those two locked in quite a championship battle. Remember, Tag essentially scored no points at Milwaukee. Couldn't take the green there because he had that huge wreck in the final warm-up before race time back at the Milwaukee Mile in the month of June.
Still looking back at Tag and the Team Australia. He did a round-the-world tour just about. Went to Australia, multiple cities to promote the upcoming race at Surfers Paradise. And the braking seems just close up slightly. Actually, Ranger's in the middle of a sandwich here because Will Power, Tag's teammate, is just ahead of Andrew Ranger in a virtually new car. He destroyed a car in practice on Friday. And again, Walker Racing, they're getting used to this now.
Yeah.
Built a whole new car in the middle of the paddock here.
I think they've used 4 tubs this season, and Power really threw a scare into a lot of us on Friday. We'll show that to you a little later on as we watch Charles Zwolsman and the other MyJack Conquest machine roll by. Zwolsman at the moment up to 10th, so he's got a very good run going here in the early laps as we have run several under green for the first time today. 13 of 85 complete. Bourdais still out on top. He's got a 1.4 second advantage over Paul Tracy. Tagliani, the 110 career starts, the win 2 years ago at Road America, and a drive for Rocket Sports Racing in that Carnabret that Nicky Pastorelli just wrecked a few moments ago.
It's Tag. For those of you with the beady eyes, you'll see Tag has the red rear wing. These are virtually identical cars, but Tag will carry that red rear wing flap so you can identify him clearly from Will Power, his teammate, who has the black rear wing on his Team Australia car.
And here's a look at Zwolsman and the other MyJack machine. You might have seen our graphic there a moment ago. Dan Clark, fastest lap of the day so far. Clark started 17th. He's been the big mover early on. He's picked up 3 positions to 14th as we watch Tagliani.
Man, that going away shot is just brutal, violent grip. And there's 2 big bumps through that S's. I mean, it's frightening to stand inside there and just watch these champ cars go through there.
Tagliani 9th. Here's your leader. Bourdais led all the way so far in the McDonald's car number 1. Won the first 4 races of the season and has had to take a backseat these last 3 events as A.J. Allmendinger, once he joined Forsyth Championship Racing, has won those 3 in a row. Jan Beekes.
What's interesting about the Paul Tracy, A.J. Allmendinger dynamic is think about the fact that they drive much differently. Paul Tracy uses his right foot on the brake and A.J. Allmendinger his left. And because of that, it comes really from a karting background, and the new school drivers all tend to use left foot braking. It takes a different setup on the car, but a very high-speed racetrack, Derek, you don't use a lot of heavy braking, so it's perfectly suited to Paul Tracy's style.
Yes, it is. And also, Jan, another reason why this track is somewhat suited to Tracy, you have to be brave here. You have to really call upon skills to go through some of these corners absolutely flat out at times. In qualifying, the S is in front of our pits here, which is 160 miles an hour. Tracy went through there absolutely flat shot. Very few drivers ever get to do that at this track here in Edmonton.
Now, Sébastien Bourdais, the championship leader, going for 3 consecutive Champ Car titles. We showed you earlier how Bourdais had a great start to this season. 4 consecutive wins, has taken the back seat subsequently. Here a year ago, we told you Bourdais started 10th. It was an upset win, really. 10th to win. A late pass got him to victory lane here on his way to his 2005 Champ Car World Series title. And Bourdais is the championship leader this year as he goes for 3 consecutive titles in this very competitive Champ Car World Series.
One thing Newman Haas did do when they came here, they came with a different set of philosophy. They were not fast enough last year here, so the philosophy change in the setup was something they rolled out here on Friday. Bourdais liked it, thought he had some more work to do on it, but this looks like they are back where we normally see the Newman Haas and the McDonald's team. On board now with Nelson Philippe. There he grabs the gear in the brake zones. A lot of caster on these wheels. Caster means just kick back in the steering. The wheels want to self-center. These curves, concrete walls, they run right beside them. That is Servia in the PKV car right ahead of him.
Philippe is 6th, trying to track down Servia in car number 6, and there is the 5 of Will Power. He is 7th in the Aussie Vineyards machine. And Power has been fast this weekend as well, Derek.
I think Power is having one of his best weekends. I know he's run this well in the past, but overall, that was Derek Walker on the radio to Will Power saying, use your time wisely, save some fuel. But Will Power, every session here, has been on the pace, but he had a frightening incident early on Friday. Everybody held their breath when they saw it unfold.
Have a look at this. Power had the car get away from him. This is where Dan Clark wrecked, but this one ended differently.
This is 150 miles an hour. Boom! Our cameraman had to jump. Watch the slow-mo. The car smashes into the camera position. Bodywork breaks off the car. Will Power was, he was shaking when they took him from that car. Our cameraman almost got whacked, but he stood his ground all the way till the car came right in and broke into pieces. Cameron?
I was speaking with Will Power just before the race, and he said starting in Toronto, he stopped trying to work a plan coming into the race. He decided to start, going with the punches, so to speak, letting the race come to him and doing what he knows best, just racing.
And last week he was just traveling, himself and Tag. They visited 4 or 5 cities down in Surfers Paradise to promote the event. Going night and day. But many people would wonder, how can a driver have a 165-mile-an-hour crash backwards, scare the living daylights out of you? They build another car and say, get right back in, and then you go back and go just as fast, if not faster than ever. Yeah. Racing drivers have an unusual bit. What's this? 150, 60 miles an hour, loses control. Now he knows he's going backwards. Boom! Did you hear the noise as that car smashed itself into the concrete and tires? Will Power got out with a heart just pounding in his chest. He's able to close the door, get back in, and go just as fast. A racing driver is an unusual animal. He's paid to go fast, and crashes like that are something that is just an occupational hazard that you walk away from.
Now Power in car number 5 continues to run 7th. That incident happened about a quarter mile from our broadcast location. It was loud enough that we could hear it here without any audio enhancement. CDW car number 9, Justin Wilson, continues to run 3rd. The Roof Sport entry, Wilson having won twice a year ago, has not been to victory lane yet this year, and the frustration, I think, is starting to settle in with him a little bit. He really wants to get to the top step of the podium here.
We told you earlier how warm it was yesterday. It's equally as warm today. We saw the little air intake on the cockpit of Wilson's car. Wilson's car to duct air down inside. He's got that going into his driver's uniform, I think, to get some cool air inside. It is so physically difficult to drive at these speeds. Servia fighting with the car.
Servia with a good day going, up in 5th right now. A.J. Allmendinger trying to track down Justin Wilson. 2 former teammates until a couple of weeks ago when Allmendinger was let go by Roof Sport. Hired a couple of days later by the Forsyth team, and you know the story, the 3 consecutive wins. Allmendinger battling back after not feeling well. That's Nelson Philippe in car number 4, the CT HVM Burden to Bear entry. Philippe sitting 6th. As we roll on here, he and Servia have held station from the start. We had those first few incidents, very few green flag laps until we got past the 10-lap mark here today. But now we've put 10 or so green flag laps on the board. Now, the first pit window actually opened about 4 laps ago. With all those caution laps, drivers certainly will be able to go further on their first tank of fuel. So we will see how the pit strategy plays out as we expect a couple of stops. Charles Wolzman in the 34. We mentioned how he had moved to 10th. in the MyJack Conquest car. He's got Bruno Junqueira behind him. Now remember, Junqueira spun in turn 1 off the opening green, and that's what triggered that incident that took Cristiano Damata out today before we had completed a lap. Zolzman at age 26 ran 9th in Toronto. It was his best outing of the year, and he qualified 13th. So Zolzman's picked up 3 positions as well here today in the early laps. We're a quarter of the way home at the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Edmonton.
Oh man, there's that great going away shot that I love. You just see the cars with so much downforce, the tires fight for grip as these drivers just dare to go faster and faster through here. There's Catherine. Catherine is back underway. They're still now, if a yellow comes out, if drivers peeled off, Catherine would stay out and get her lap back.
Well, Sebastian Bourdais has led all the way so far. It's been a very strong run for the reigning series champion and the current championship leader. AJ Allmendinger continues in 4th position. He is a couple of seconds back. And we'll be right back with more of the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton after this message and a word from your local CBS station. Back in Edmonton with your chance to enter the Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Winner trip to next week's Grand Prix of San Jose, plus a set of Bridgestone Potenzas or an Auto Week subscription. Our grand prize winner gets that new Ford Mustang GT and joins us in Mexico City for the season finale. Code word this week is Bruno. For the official rules and to enter, log on to champcar.ws. The Champ Car Live Fast stakes brought to you by Bridgestone as we ride with Andrew Ranger in the Tide MyJack 27 car. Ranger in 8th position. Love these visor cam shots, Derek. You can really see driver's eye view the battle he's got on his hands.
And it's right beside his left eyeball, so we see exactly what he sees as he sees it.
Bruno Junqueira there in car number 2, involved in that early spin in turn 1 that brought out the yellow. Now they've pitted Junqueira already. He is hoping for a caution that would vault him to the head of the class. His teammate Bruno Junqueira in the McDonald's car number 1. He has led all the way so far, working lap 26 now, puts 25 laps on the board, so we're almost a third of the way home.
And Bourdais now about to get involved in lapping traffic.
There's Bruno in the hole-in-the-wall Camps 2 car.
And there was almost no choice for it was an obvious choice for the Newman Haas car to pull him in. He was not going to catch Bourdais. He was not going to make his way to the leaders. So this is a gamble now to hopefully have it fall his way to get to the leaders. He doesn't want to get a lap down here, though. And he's about to get a lap down. That is Dan Clark and Junqueira, who are squabbling over 13th and 14th place. This is not going according to plan here.
About a minute, the gap here. They are on the same lap. It is about a minute that Junqueira is behind the 1 car of Bourdais about to get lapped. Jan.
And what happens in this situation is Craig Hampson has just left the timing stand coming next door to talk to Bruno's crew. That's how they do it. They unplug, they go, and they have the discussion saying, okay, should we let him go through? We don't want to put you a lap down. Craig, what's the situation? You don't want Bruno to go a lap down, but you got to keep on it.
Yeah, I know. We've got 2 cars on one team, and each have opposing requirements right now.
What do you want to see happen?
Well, we need to get Sebastian by Bruno because the strategy we're on involves going fast.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. That is straight talk right there. Political at the start and then straight talk. But he's absolutely right because Bourdais, remember, is racing Tracy Allmendinger and Wilson, who are absolutely going to hound his heels.
And it's already been done. Bourdais did get by Junqueira during that exchange. I think when Craig Hampson walked over there, that was the signal to go ahead and let him go. Let the champion get by. So Bourdais has lapped Junqueira now, but another caution at this point could certainly help the 2 team quite a bit. Now remember that Bourdais started the season like a house of fire. 4 consecutive wins beginning back at Long Beach in April. He built a huge championship lead that Allmendinger has chopped down the last 3 weeks. But let's take a look back at the season for Sebastian Bourdais, 2-time champion coming in. Really had no problem at all in Long Beach rolling to victory. At Houston, it was a tough night for him. Had to fight the track conditions and fight the Forsyth team as well. Mario Dominguez there ran 3rd in one of his final drives in car number 7. Then in Monterrey, Mexico, Bourdais triumphing in the hot weather. And at the Milwaukee Mile, Bourdais' first ever win on that flat oval. Great run for Bourdais that day back in June. 4 consecutive wins for the two-time series champion to begin 2006.
And it all looked so easy back at the start of the season, but it sure didn't get easy once Allmendinger moved over to Forsyth, because that really has electrified this season. Well, Bourdais misses a little bit of the turn-in, is about a car width wide as he's lining up Dan Clark. But look at that exclusive club of 4 consecutive win drivers since 1979. The great Alonso Jr. and, of course, Alex Zanardi in that list too.
Bourdais getting by Dan Clark to put him a lap down now as we work on lap 29. Huge crowd on hand here in Edmonton. Last year, 200,000 fans turned out over the 3 days. Crowd this year has been off just a tick from a year ago. It's been incredibly hot. We expect a huge crowd as well today for the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton. 8th race of the 2006 season. We talked to Bourdais earlier this weekend to find out his thoughts coming in to this event.
But Sebastian, we know you have 4 wins in a row this year. AJ Allmendinger trying to do the same is something that he can do. And what do you think about AJ in general?
Obviously, he can do it. You know, he's had just a tough beginning of the week and crashing it in the first qualifying. But he'll be back to for this race. I'm sure he's just taking it easy yesterday in qualifying and didn't get exactly what he wanted. But he's up front, so he'll be right there.
Tell us your thoughts about the Edmonton track here and how do you attack it?
Well, you have it's a very demanding track, both physically and technically. So you've got to have the good car, but also you have to have both the nerves and the muscles. So we'll try and have the right package tomorrow.
The nerve and the muscle. What that means is be brave, be really brave, and drive these things hard and fast and muscle them around. This has started last year. People were surprised not how much fun this was, but how difficult it was and how fast it was. It's an awesome facility here in Edmonton.
Well, but going into last season, Derek, this was a new event on the calendar, and we heard about it being a temporary course, and it would be an airport. I think a lot of us felt that it would be, like many temporary circuits, it would be challenging but tight. Instead, it's wide open spaces, as fast as Cleveland, if not faster. Riding here with Justin Wilson, the CDW9, the Rouge Sport entry. Wilson rides third, 6.7 seconds behind the leaders. That's Allmendinger, his former teammate. You can see him back there in the Index Forsyth car number 7. There's the battle, the gap that has changed. Now, Allmendinger has closed it up the last several laps, just 0.2 back as they have been working through traffic. But Allmendinger so far has not been able to take a shot at Wilson to try to get third spot away from him.
Yeah, looking at the timing and scoring, it's touch and go. Allmendinger's faster on one lap, then Wilson comes back and responds. There's where Allmendinger just stuck that right rear wheel on the grass. Almost had disastrous consequences earlier, but you see Tracy and Wilson and Allmendinger are covered by a blanket here. There's about just over 5 seconds of a gap between Tracy and Bourdais, so Bourdais has them covered. I think Bourdais is just dumping fuel into that engine, making horsepower, and running, as Craig Hampson suggested earlier on. Jan?
With Michael Cannon, in the first question, how is AJ feeling? Has he said anything about those flu-like symptoms?
Luckily, the pace is a little bit slower in the race than we expected, so I think that's a little bit easier on him physically. He seems like he's in pretty good spirits, honestly.
Why is it slower? Are they saving fuel?
Yeah, most definitely. Sebastian started off saving fuel very early on, and pretty much obligates everybody to do the same thing. I think it'll speed up in the next 2 stints.
So the moment that the leader backs off, he can go a lap longer. You're then obliged to do the same thing?
Indeed. There's nothing you can really do. You've got to play the same game as they play, and then when you come in on the first stop, hopefully you can change the game.
Thanks. We'll see if the game changes, guys.
Well, the game is beginning to change because Bourdais just 1 lap earlier set fastest lap of the race, 60.3. There is Paul Tracy now just ahead of Wilson. So Bourdais beginning to inch the speed up here. Of course, as the cars get lighter, they get faster. Speaking of lighter, Paul Tracy, the disadvantage he has, particularly over AJ Allmendinger, Tracy is a muscle man. He's a monster. He's 25 pounds heavier in that car than AJ Allmendinger because of the sheer physical size of his body.
Well,
that's a big disadvantage.
Denise Kazimets is up ahead of this battle now, and he's a slower car on the Rocket Sports 18, the Flexivit machine. And these guys need to get by Kazimets. There they go. This is Wilson now following Tracy, battling him for second spot.
Oh, hopefully Kazimets sees the train behind Tracy. There's the air pipe. See it to the left side of the cockpit. Never saw that before. We presume it ducts cool air into the driver's uniform. All the way through here is where it gets really difficult. You're absolutely on the limit. Allmendinger now needs to make his way by. Wilson is closed up. You can see that on Tracy. Wilson is one of the great late breakers. You go to any corner, he will break as late as anybody, enters the corner fairly quickly, has an early entry, completely different style to, let's say, an Oriol Servia or a Nelson Philippe who break longer, straighter.
Well, Paul Tracy, second at Toronto 2 weeks ago, second at Houston, hasn't won yet this year. We talked to him about the trip to Edmonton earlier.
Tell me just overall the team dynamic. At first, AJ comes in barn burning. Now you seem to have gained your confidence. Where do you think it stands now as far as you two working together?
Well, I think for me, I've learned a lot. You know, obviously I've had the same couple teammates for the last couple of years and really had no trouble outpacing them in terms of qualifying. So, you know, I haven't really had to look at somebody else's data because I haven't had to worry about them. So, you know, from this standpoint, AJ's been super fast since he came in, and I've had to step up my game and look at his telemetry, look where he's making up time, and I'm getting faster.
Paul Tracy in the 3 car, the Forsyth Index machine second, almost 9 seconds behind leader Sebastian Bourdais, working lap 34. Now here's Wilson squeezing by, lapping by Dan Clark as well.
On board again with Wilson all weekend. Tracy has walked around, uniform around his waist, a sleeveless muscle man t-shirt.
And one of his trademarks.
Just looking like the business, hair spiked, just a confident look about Tracy all this weekend. And then, of course, he went out and set the fastest qualifying lap, although he lost it because he spun and gave it to Bourdais. Maybe that track position, Rick, has made the difference between Bourdais having a 3 to 4 second lead.
And Derek,
yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned Bourdais. There's just been a development on pit road. They put the tires over the walls, so we thought that Sebastian Bourdais was setting the pace and saving fuel. That's what Michael Cannon said. He, in fact, will be the first of the leaders to hit pit road.
Nelson Philippe already on pit road in the Wellbox car number 4, so the 6th place driver has pitted.
And that was the indication, Jan, that you dragged from Craig Hansen when he said our strategy right now involves going fast. Andrew Ranger.
4 new Bridgestones. They put the blacks on. The standard issue Bridgestone Potenzas for Ranger fuel as well.
He is spokesperson for the Children's Miracle Network here in Canada. That's supported by Walmart, over 90 stores in Canada, and there's a great marketing effort to put that car on the racetrack. Jan, he's in.
And of course, this should be a great stop for Sebastian Bourdais, the fact that he's leading, but it's not good that he has to stop in front of the other leaders. You want to stop as late as you possibly can, and you can see it took a lot of fuel. Just over 10 seconds, a routine stop. He went with sticker tires, and now we have a new leader on the racetrack, and this, Derek, is when you really have to push. If someone pits before you, you stand on it and make some ground.
Well, there's PT in car number 3, the Forsyth Index machine. He gets at least 1 extra lap there.
And an extra lap on a light fuel load. This is what Tracy needs to try and make up the gap. However, Bourdais ran like a scalded cat, and he had more than 6 seconds of lead. And believe it or not, this is hard to believe. This here will be the first lap that Paul Tracy, the biggest star name in Champ Car racing, this will be the first lap he's led all season long. That is hard to believe.
Tracy, PT, of course, the thrill from West Hill, the native of the Toronto area, racing in front of his countrymen here this weekend in Edmonton. This has got to be an exciting moment for them and for him.
And Gary Lowe, who owns Speed Gear, sells the Champ Car merchandise, said he brought 3 times the merchandise here to Edmonton this weekend, and it was all sold by midday on Saturday.
Catherine Legg.
Another wing is gone.
Rear wing off the 20 car. The Bell Micro machine led back on, and she kept it running. She's got to be careful now with very little rear downforce.
My point on the speed gear, they sold 120 Forsyth racing shirts at more than $100 a piece, and they were gone in 5 hours, which gives you an indication of the support of Paul Tracy here in Canada.
No caution at this point. Catherine Legg bringing the PKV car around to pit road. And as we mentioned, minus that rear wing, second time today, they'll have to put a new wing on her car. She stays out of the groove, lets the faster cars by. Now Andrew Ranger in the Tide Myjack car. His first pit stop. He was 10th when he came to pit road. He's coming up through the ranks now because here comes some of the other drivers. And Alex Tagliani coming to pit road, as we see right here. The other Myjack car, that's Charles Wolzman making his first stop of the day as well as we work lap 36. And we take a look. They're waiting for A.J. Allmendinger to come to pit road as well.
And at the meantime, Paul Tracy is ahead of him, getting the service. The tires are already done. They're just waiting on the fuel. And same thing with A.J. Allmendinger. Paul Tracy, and Justin Wilson beats him out. Awesome. Justin Wilson must have short field beat him out. A.J. Allmendinger now underway.
There's Wilson in front of Tracy as they leave pit road on lap 38. So let's reset for you. Tracy was the leader before that stop. Wilson comes off pit road ahead. Bourdais had stopped earlier. He's being shown in 4th position at the moment. We'll await scoring to recycle. Let's take a look here.
Tracy, right side of your screen. Allmendinger's in the middle. Wilson to the left side. Watch, they finish it. What's the crew? They love it. They just about 2 seconds faster than Tracy, and beat him at track position is so vital here at these type of speeds. Wilson vaults ahead of the Tracy, but Bourdais is still leading when this cycles all the way around.
PT in car number 3 got into the wall in that car yesterday in qualifying. They fixed it, sent him back out. He had to give up his fastest lap, had run 2 quicker laps. He had a lap capable of putting him on pole here yesterday before that incident.
Here's my favorite shot again. Just the speed they go through that shot.
And Bourdais does cycle back to the lead now that the top 5 have all made their stops. So Bourdais leads Wilson. Tracy drops back to 3rd, getting passed on pit road. Allmendinger sits 4th. Servia, Power, Philippe, and Ranger. The rest of the top 8, Tracy trying to find speed and get around Wilson, get back to 2nd position. 39 laps next time the leaders come by of 85, the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton. Let's take a moment, join Michelle Beisner, take a look at our Ford Bold Moves moment.
Ford is making bold moves yet again. Some very lucky consumers here in Edmonton get the opportunity of a lifetime as they get to take a lap around the track with professional pace car drivers next to them in the all-new 2006 Ford Fusion.
It was fantastic. That was absolutely amazing. I felt powerful, empowered, just amazing.
I really enjoyed being down at track level and seeing what the race cars see.
It was very exciting.
And Alex Tagliani, what do you think about Ford's Ride and Drive program?
Awesome. You know, I'm very happy that Ford, is doing that, and the customer has the chance to drive a beautiful car on a racetrack. I want to have a sporty ride when I feel, to drive it fast, and that's this car is all about.
Welcome back to Edmonton. I'm Rick Benjamin. Derek Daly's alongside. Jan Beekes and Cameron Steele are on pit road, and Sebastian Bourdais has dominated here today. He led from the pole, gave it up on his pit stop. He's gotten back in front after the cycle, but Derek, fuel economy could be his Achilles heel today.
The key to this stint will be, can Wilson begin to eat in at his lead? He had more than 7 seconds before the pit stop. It's now down to 4.7. The last stop for Wilson was a 60.5. That was more than a second a lap faster than Bourdais. So Bourdais either made a tiny mistake, or Wilson is beginning to eat into that lead.
Now, Bourdais has put the Bridgestone Potenza Blacks on the car. They're a little more durable, maybe not as fast. We've been hearing there's not much give up between the Reds and Blacks. Watching Tracy now, who's back in 5th. Servia has gotten by Tracy.
And Tracy, if we look at his lap time, Paul Tracy, he was more than 2 seconds a lap quicker. So
what appears to be happening is a right rear tire appears to be going down for Paul Tracy, according to the telemetry. So he may have to make another call to pit road.
He's on the button pretty hard here on one of the straightaways running toward pit road, but PT started second, ran second early on today, lost it on pit road to Wilson a few moments ago, struggling here now, didn't pit that time though, down into turn 1.
Yikes. Okay, last lap was 62.0, same as Serbia. 0.2 quicker than Allmendinger. And again, Wilson was at 60.2. Bourdais 61.1. So Wilson is the fastest car of these leaders on the racetrack right now at this particular time. He has to run him down, because if it all shakes out as the first stint did, Wilson could potentially go 2 laps longer on this stint than Bourdais went on the last time.
Well, here's how Justin Wilson got second away from Paul Tracy on pit road. One more look.
Left side of the screen. Tracy, remember, was in first to his stop. Fuel is the last thing in. Oh, Wilson knows he has him. It's a drag race, and he just gets ahead of him. That is critical track position over your arch rival Paul Tracy.
As we watch Wilson take off down pit road on the pit stop a few moments ago, interesting scenario. Wilson is catching up to Sebastian Bourdais. It's a 3.1 second gap now. Wilson's a little quicker at the moment. Jan Beekes.
And of course he's faster on the track, but maybe because you have less fuel. Anytime you gain a position, Jeremy, do you put less fuel in the car?
Well, you know, you never want to put in more than you need. Let's put it that way. Listen, we like where we are right now. We've been good on the blacks all weekend, especially high mileage blacks. The car's just been, you know, good in that configuration. That's what's showing up right now. Sebastian's struggling, AJ is struggling, Paul is struggling, and we feel good right now. He's closing down.
But you will have to pit earlier if you, in fact, split your fuel as you're hinting you might did. Is that a concern?
Well, the fact is, you know, if Sebastian took a full tank, he's not going to need a lot of fuel. So the question is, you know, are they going to be waiting on tires, or are they going to be waiting on fuel? We'll see.
Good call. Thank you.
He was talking about the high mileage tires. These Bridgestone Potenzas, despite the speed here, they have not dropped off on lap time very much. So you can go lap after lap. This is on board now with Justin Wilson. We have a camera just to show you how active it is inside the cockpit. Everything bounces around. His right hand grabs the steering wheel, grabs the gearbox, the gear shift. And you'll see him when he gets to the corner, he's down change. Accelerates, grab a gear, pull it back again. Keep your hand off the wheel. Oh, it's a motorcycle type gearbox, so all the up gears you pull it back, all the down gears you push it forward.
And Wilson second, continuing to lap faster than Bourdais. 2.7 seconds the gap now as he tries to run down the championship leader, bidding for his first win of the season. Wilson ran that last lap, Derek, 0.8 quicker than Bourdais.
Oh yeah, he is reeling him in, and he can see it. He can see he's getting closer and closer. So Wilson, this is a great fight here. He is reeling in the Bourdais car. The McDonald's car can see Wilson out in the mirror. There they are. Bourdais now stuck in traffic. Huge break here for Wilson.
Catching up to Dan Clark there. Some of the cars toward the back of the field. Here's Bourdais putting Denise Kazavets another lap down. And you can see Wilson right side of your screen. He's going to get held up by Kazavets through these twisty bits.
I don't know. When Kazavets sees the leader go by, he usually looks in the mirror. Dan Clark locks up the right front. Right in front of Bruno. They're still embroiled in their little battle.
10th and 11th there.
Yeah. Where's Bourdais? Where's Wilson?
Bruno Junqueira holding the wall, Camp's 2 cars, spun in turn 1 off the drop of the green, runs 11th. Bourdais the race leader and the McDonald's number 1. 2.2 seconds ahead of Wilson, who continues to chop into that lead.
He knows he's coming. 2 seconds was the last time past the scoring stripe on the start-finish line.
Alex Tagliani here 9th in the Aussie Vineyards car. Right behind him, of course, Junqueira. Dominguez there as well. Cameron Steele.
Well, I'm here with Derek Walker, the owner for Alex Tagliani, and looks like you guys are embroiled in quite a battle right now.
Yeah, I mean, the race car's very good, and great pit work. We got ahead of Nelson, so we're just doing the laps, you know, trying to close in on Tracy.
Is the fuel conservation something you guys are thinking about right now?
Well, we've already been there, done that. You know, at some stage during the race, you got to do it. So we've done a bit of that, and it's been no problem. You know, when the car works, you can really do it. So Will's doing a good job out there.
Thank you so much.
And he was talking about Will Power. He is having a good day. So Will Power did to Nelson Philippe what we saw Wilson do to Paul Tracy. That's how he got that position with faster pit work. Will Power right now 62.3, exactly the same time as Nelson Philippe. 62.3. But Tag is not having a great day. He set fastest lap of the race in a rebuilt car in Toronto, but he is just barely hanging on ahead of Junqueira in the top 10.
Meantime, the battle for the lead taking shape. The McDonald's car number 1 of champion Sebastian Bourdais. His lead less than a second over Justin Wilson as they work traffic backside of this 1.9-mile circuit here in Edmonton at City Center Airport. This is Tagliani's machine.
And Paul Newman is here. He is in the pit timing stand, as he is every race. Loves his motor racing. Comes to see his boys do battle here.
Wilson closing it down. Now Justin Wilson led 4 laps here a year ago. Bourdais will try to put Tag a lap down as they arrow toward turn 1, and he gets by, as does Wilson.
Oh, look at Wilson. Yeah.
With Craig Hampson. Craig, you said your strategy was speed, but now you're struggling for it.
Yeah, we
CBS Sports coverage of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford is sponsored by the all-new Mazda CX-7, the SUV you never saw coming. CDW, the right technology right away. And by Mobil 1 Extended Performance, the oil that's changing oil.
Welcome back to City Center Airport, the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Edmonton with Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin. Sebastian Bourdais continues to lead now. 33 laps remain. Justin Wilson is half a dozen car lengths back. Can't get any closer, at least at the moment. We'll see what happens as we get closer to the final pit stop of the day. Jan Beekes.
With Al Spire, we catch our breath down here on pit road. It's been frantic, but it's also been hot. How tough is that on the 2 different sets of tires?
Well, it has been hotter in Edmonton this year than we expected, Jan. We've seen tread temperatures up in the 230-degree Fahrenheit range, but we haven't had any blistering. The durability's been great, and Sebastian's run really good on the red sidewall Bridgestones. He set the fastest lap, at least of the first segment, on the 31st lap, and Justin Wilson, the second, is thrilled with the black, so we're pretty happy with the Bridgestone performance.
Now, why is that? Because we hear that as we do the interviews, some people love one and hate the other. Why is that?
Well, I think it's just individual driving style, and we'd like to have a bigger difference between the black Bridgestones and the red ones, and that's what we're working on. This is kind of a laboratory for us. We're always taking back information and taking all the different drivers' views into account, but again, the durability is very important to us, and that's been just super here in Edmonton.
Thank you, Al.
You're welcome.
Durability has been exceptional with Bridgestone. By the way, this Wednesday, I actually took part in a Bridgestone event when we had a go-kart race. And I thought I was pretty hot. But Jim Schmidt, the general manager for consumer tires of Bridgestone Firestone Canada, absolutely waxed me in the go-kart and reminded me of it yesterday with a signed timing sheet.
You need to work out a little more. You need to get the car a little more, the go-kart in this case. Get your rhythm back. Sebastian Bourdais has given up the lead meantime. Justin Wilson has gotten by in the CDW 9 car. Now, we had said that was 6 car lengths. Wilson couldn't close in. While we were talking to Bridgestone's Al Spire, here's the move.
Oh, he comes up behind him like a freight train under his rear wing and drags by him on the brake zone. I'm not saying that was easy, but I will tell you, Bourdais did not exit that corner very quickly and gave a golden opportunity for Wilson. Now, Wilson is going to streak away from him on these Bridgestone tires, which have lots of laps on them. He has loved his car all weekend long here. He is in his element right now with Justin Wilson. How big a lead can he pull on Bourdais before the next pit stop? Here it is again. He accelerates so much faster than Bourdais under the rear wing. Oh, Bourdais had the flashing light. He was on the button and he still couldn't stop him.
Now, Justin Wilson has used up most of his Cosworth power to pass time. You have 60 seconds. This weekend, it's 75 horsepower. The base horsepower is 725, 800 when you're on the button. Cameron Steele.
I was just talking to Derek Walker, Alex Tagliani, coming in, going for a different strategy. They are going to be hoping for a yellow flag. Derek says, you know what, may as well go for it.
So one of the Team Australia cars coming back up onto the racetrack. Will Power was 6th. Let's ride here with Wilson in the CDW entry. Now the race leader. Led 4 laps here a year ago. Spun late. Looked like he had things going his way and might have won here last season. Spun late in the race over in turns 5 and 6 and gave it up. And Bourdais was able to close the deal and win.
Just look at that suspension movement to go across these airport runways. This track is not as bumpy as it was last year. The grinder was out to take away some of the severe bumps. Still, it is still a handful here. If you don't mind that on what we term this as sort of street racing, but I'm going to watch very closely Wilson's times now. 60.4 in the last lap. That was a full 0.6 of a second faster than Sebastien Bourdais. You see Bourdais beginning to fade in the mirrors of Wilson.
Now Justin Wilson building the lead, now 2.2 seconds over Sebastien Bourdais. Wilson hasn't won yet this season. We talked to him about that before the start of the weekend.
Justin, after 4 runner-up positions this year, starting from 3rd, what's going to take to break that down and get your first win?
Just a good, solid race car and a solid race, no mistakes. And I think anything can happen on this track, as we proved last year. We handed away an easy 1-2 victory, for Rousport, but hopefully we can change that this year and get the win.
Your miniature golf adversary, AJ Allmendinger, has found the way to win this year. Does that frustrate you a little bit?
No, we've got to still work on the basics and get our stuff together. You can't afford to make mistakes or get things wrong. So that's what we're working hard on. Make sure that we don't leave anything on the table. And I think today is a good opportunity of doing that.
Justin Wilson not leaving anything on the table. Of course, he and his ex-teammate AJ Allmendinger like to face off on the miniature golf course and other places as well. Back to Cameron.
Well, unfortunately, you can see Bruno Junqueira getting out of his car right now. The problem is a gearbox. He had come into the pits knowing that he didn't have first gear. The team tried to get into neutral, and they get it push started in second. Unfortunately, they weren't even able to find second gear, so the gearbox is a problem. We'll try to catch a word with them in just a few.
Heartbreak for Bruno Junqueira, Derek. How does he turn it around?
You don't often see these cars break gearboxes. They're almost bulletproof, but Wilson is streaking away now, more than 2.5 seconds clear of Sebastien Bourdais.
27 laps to go, and Justin Wilson can go a little further, assumedly, on this tank of fuel. We'll be back. Won late in the race over in turns 5 and 6 and gave it up, and Bourdais was able to close the deal. Justin Wilson coming onto pit road, final pit stop of the day, and this is a little bit early as we work on lap 61, Jan Beekes. This is, they must have really short-filled it.
It's early compared to the others, but it is splitting the strategy, just like Jeremy Dale had told us. So they're going to take on what fuel they need to get to the end, but the good news is Justin Wilson loves the car on the black Bridgestone. That was a nice quick stop, about 8.5 seconds. He'll give up the lead here, but they expect to get the lead back when the rest of the guys pit.
And Jan, the lead was 5.5 seconds. That's a fair bit of time for Bourdais to have to make up out on the racetrack. I'm not sure he can make that up. So as this cycles around, Wilson on these black Bridgestone Potenzas, I think he's feeling good right now, unless he gets caught by traffic here.
Coming up on Denise Kazimets in the Rocket Sports car, 61 laps. We've had 4 lead changes, 2 cautions for 8 laps so far. Fastest lap of the day to Justin Wilson on lap number 60, inside of a minute. Now, 24 laps to go, Derek. He didn't need a full tank of fuel either.
No, he didn't. He didn't need to be blocked by Kazimets. Not blocked as such, but he didn't need to get caught behind him, because that was only 5.5 seconds to Bourdais, who has now assumed the lead. There he is.
Bourdais, of course, not slowing yet. His lead 1.8 seconds last time by. Now Allmendinger cycles to second spot. Wilson will cycle to third after the pit stop exchange. Andrew Ranger on pit road at the moment of the Tide MyJack machine. Final stop of the day.
And you see him just get a bit sideways here. I'm sure Craig Hampson has told him, get on your bike here as fast as you can. Jan?
He has also told him that we want you to pit in 2 laps. That may sound surprising, but remember, he told us that Sebastien is not happy with the car. So even though he could go much longer on fuel, they're going to bring him in, get a new set of tires, make some changes, because they know in the current configuration, he's losing ground. They want to change the car so he can gain ground.
Speaking of losing ground, for the sake of the championship, Allmendinger needs to try and get himself closer to Bourdais. He needs to finish ahead of Bourdais to try and close the gap on this great championship fight.
Well, as we watch the scoring monitor and scoring recycles, Bourdais shown 7 seconds ahead of Allmendinger as they are shown 1-2 right now on lap 63. Wilson 23 seconds back, so timing and scoring resetting. Paul Tracy fourth. Oriol Servia, who just made his final pit stop, is fifth in trouble. Bourdais gets caught out nearly there with Tagliani, who goes into the tires and knocks the front wing. The 20 car, Catherine Legge, has lost another rear wing, third time today. So the Aussie Vineyards car stuck in the tires. They'll have to pull him back. That could be a full course yellow.
What
Let's
happened
watch.
here? Bourdais, that is Tagliani, right side. Bourdais shoots down the inside, tags him. I can't believe that happened.
And ran over. It looked like he bumped into at least the number 20's wing. Another look.
Now the key is there any damage on the McDonald's car? Left rear of Bourdais. Tags the right front of Tags, sends him into the wall, but Catherine must have had an incident.
Or perhaps that was left from earlier there. I can't imagine they would have left that sitting there.
Sure.
All right,
not.
to pit road. Here comes Bourdais.
And they wanted to pit about now anyway. They're going to check the car over for damage. They're going with the red sidewall Bridgestone, which typically he doesn't like as much. They look at it quickly.
AJ
is in as well. We see from behind that was a quick stop for AJ. No changes there also. It's pretty much stationed between the two of them. Now they're waving down Paul Tracy, who's on his way as well. He's going to slide into his spot. Remember, he did not like the right rear. He said a tire was going down. They checked the telemetry and the tire wasn't going down. It just felt like to Paul Tracy it was going down. Now they'll replace it. Wow, that was a quick one. And Paul Tracy's back underway.
Wow, Jan, I can tell from your voice that is harem-scarum time down there when you have so many pit stops and such. Oh, he's on the dirt on the way out. But there's so much at stake when you make these pit stops that Tracy just crashes over the top of the curbs in pursuit now of Wilson and Allmendinger.
So it's Bourdais, Allmendinger, Wilson, and Tracy, and caution. Full course yellow with 21 laps to go today here at Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. City Center Airport. They call it Jagflow Speedway this year. Paul Tracy just off of pit road, and the yellow flew as soon as he got back on the racetrack.
Okay, now we have a scenario where Wilson has cycled back to the front of the field. He is on the preferred regular black sidewall Bridgestone Potenzas. Bourdais has gone on to what some people believe to be the faster of the Bridgestone Potenzas, the red sidewall. So you got reds versus blacks coming up, but Bourdais was lucky he got away with. Have a look at this here. In the tag incident, Bourdais comes down inside Tag, muscles him out of the way, sends Tag into the wall, but look at this here. Catherine's wing is somewhere on the road. There it is, Catherine's wing right there. Bourdais whacks the wing, just kisses it.
And with the left front, he had the tires, he had the brakes locked there as he went up over the curbing there.
I think he might have got away with this. Look, Bourdais out of the groove. Look, he's away from the... Oh, man, look at the right side. Oh, he kisses it right side. Bourdais was very lucky that he was on his way to his pit on that particular lap, because that definitely could have done serious damage. Right side of the picture. Oh, there's Tag. They drag him back. What a shame for Tagliani. You'll notice his helmet color scheme was different this weekend. He had a special helmet. The Edmonton Oilers logo was on it. The Edmonton's Eskimos was on it. And Edmonton City of Champions was on Tagliani's helmet this weekend.
Oh, Justin Wilson shown as the leader, but they'll be bunched up after caution for a restart. Back with more on the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton after this message and a word from your local CBS station.
Ian and Dave won the ultimate fan experience this weekend after entering a contest and going through some serious competition. They were selected to be Paul Tracy's honorary pit crew members. Now, nobody gets you closer to the action than that.
Here's your chance to enter the Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Win a trip to join us next week in San Jose. Plus a set of Bridgestone Potenzas or an Auto Week subscription. Our grand prize winner gets that new Ford Mustang GT and will join us in Mexico City in November for the series finale. Our code word is Bruno this week. For official rules and to enter, log on to champcar.ws. The Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes brought to you by Bridgestone. With Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Nelson Philippe taking us for a ride today, celebrating his 20th birthday in the Wellbox CTE HVM Burden of Bear Entertainment car number 4. Celebration earlier today. They brought out a beautiful cake and sang for him. Nelson's family here, of course, as they always travel with him. There's his dad and his mom. His younger brother, of course, races in the Champ Car Atlantic Championship powered by Mazda. I don't know, maybe a little too much cake today, Dad. Would you want a piece of birthday cake before strapping in on a 90-degree day, Derek Daly?
If I'm a 20-year-old doing what he's doing, absolutely, I want to live in his shoes.
There you go. Justin Wilson will be our restart leader. 18 laps to go. Philippe at the moment shown 7th. He has battled. He's on the lead lap. This gives him an opportunity here. Remember, he was really strong. Led laps 2 weeks ago at Toronto. Then had a huge wreck down the backstretch heading into turn 3 when he got into Oriole Serbia. A lot of question about how that could have happened because it looked like he just drove over Serbia going down into the corner.
Yes, that was, we think, a mistake by Nelson Philippe. That absolutely gorgeous Ford GT is being driven by Gail Truis.
Champ Car Pace Car team on duty all weekend. Wilson will be the restart leader. Bourdais will line up right behind him. Everybody has their fuel and their tires of choice for the final run here to the checkered flag. A.J. Allmendinger lines up third, Jan.
We'll find out if it's the tires of choice. You've gone to the reds. You were just on the radio with Sebastian saying that Justin had blacks, you have reds. Is that how you want it?
Well, I mean, we've only got one data point here, but we put on the blacks for the middle stint, and the car was much worse than it had been on the first stint. The car was really good the first stint, and then it was slow and clearly out of balance. He had to move the anti-roll bar, and I don't know exactly what happened. I didn't think there was that big a difference between the black and the reds. Through practice, we've been very happy with the blacks. We were happy to run them the rest of the race, but then that happened. So my second set of reds have quite a few laps on them, but from what just happened, I think I'm happier being on them than the others.
All right, even with reds with laps on them, they're confident at Newman Haas. Let's get to Cameron Steele.
I'm here with Michael Cannon, the engineer for A.J. Allmendinger, and the question really is, how is A.J. feeling in the car? We've been talking about him being sick. Is he game for this at the end?
I think so. He seems to have regained his health now that he knows he's going to be on the podium, and he's healthy enough to be sarcastic and a little bit snarky. So I think he's okay.
Sounds like the old A.J. coming right back out after 3 wins. And speaking of those 3 wins, if you look just across there, you can see the lucky hat that Phil LePan is wearing. He's been wearing that hat in every single one of A.J.'s win. And just of note, it is a Mario Dominguez hat of the former Foresight team racer.
Love a snarky race car driver. Now, Allmendinger, remember, is behind Bourdais. He sees championship points also. If Bourdais finishes ahead of him, he draws away from him. I think Allmendinger is going to fight hard to get ahead of Bourdais.
Oh, we wanted to check with A.J. before the weekend started, get his thoughts going for 4 straight.
When you had your problem in qualifying, we had some reminiscent hand gestures and so on, like we saw here last year with the frustration of not being able to win. Did that bring back memories?
No, I mean, it's a completely different circumstance right now. The car's really good, but it's just trying to get that last little effort out of it. It's tough around here, so just trying to tell the engineers what's going on. I'm an energetic guy. I drink a lot of Red Bull, so I always got hand movements.
A.J. Allmendinger drinks a lot of Red Bull. I don't know if that was the beverage of choice today, but Derek, he's third for this restart. Does he have a shot here?
Oh, yeah, he has a shot. Now, Michael Cannon is a former race car driver himself. I think that gives him a real feel for what A.J. says and when he says it. Michael Cannon, back in the mid-'80s, raced Formula Fords in America here, and there's just something that has clicked. Race car driver to race car driver, engineer now to race car driver, that has really just sparked Allmendinger to just enormous heights. Oh, look at this. Oh, Bourdais just beginning to say to Wilson, you better get on your game here because I'm going to snap at your heels, and here we go.
16 laps to go to settle it today in Edmonton. Justin Wilson, who led 4 laps a year ago, spun out of the lead, gave it up as Bourdais won. We're back underway. Moved by Serbia there, trying to get to 4th, holds off Tracy.
Oh, did you see the 3 wide also? Back there with Tag, I believe it was. Or was that Will Power?
Will Power up at the moment in 7th. They did fix Tagliani's car. They gave him a new nose wing, and he is back to try to finish. Meantime, Bourdais, 2 car lengths behind Wilson for the lead.
And can he get the balance back? Does he have it back on the Bridgestone Reds? Can he now hound Justin Wilson? And can the 2 Forsyth boys, the 2 blue cars, 3rd and 4th right now, can they run this Englishman down?
Justin Wilson, great personality, smiling this morning, frustrated with those 4 runner-up finishes and no wins so far. Oh, 1 car in the wall, one of the CTHVM cars. Nelson Philippe's birthday ride comes to an early end. He has stuffed the Wellbox 4 car into the tires, and that will bring out another full course yellow with 16 to go. Same spot, Derek, turns 5 and 6. Many drivers have been caught out in that section here this weekend.
Oh, he gets a sideways under Power.
Car in front of him bobbled too.
Hey, there's oil down. I think there's oil down.
That was a hard hit. That car may be well done for the day. Did look like there was fluid down. The car that was in front of Philippe there, sideways on that replay.
I think there was oil down. We saw Philippe get sideways. Then we saw... Just watch this in slow motion again. Under Power. Look, the car ahead of him. Who is that? That's Bruno. Gets it sideways. Nelson got sideways. Now he turns in normal. Oh, look, complete ice and straight wallop into the tires.
I believe that was Oriol Serbia actually in front there, and Nelson Philippe okay. He's out of the race car. 2nd week in a row that a good run will end prematurely for Nelson Philippe. Let's show you the highs and lows of his season. First career podium came on the Milwaukee Mile back in June. He finished 3rd there, racing here beautifully to pass some of the faster cars. Came in behind Bourdais. At Cleveland, he led laps. An electrical problem caused him to coast off the racetrack late while he had the lead. Thought his first win might have been in the offing. He was strong at Toronto, led laps as well. Huge wreck there with Serbia at the end of the backstretch, late in the going. Both of their days coming to a premature end. And then today, Philippe celebrating his 20th birthday this morning, but a problem heading down into turn 5.
One of the emerging stars of Champ Car right there. He's only 20 years of age.
This was the start, the restart moments ago down into 1, and we saw Tanis Kazimets way out in the gray. Almost lost it there, but managed to keep the Rocket Sports 18 off the wall.
Okay, we now have, 14 laps to go?
14 laps to go it is, and we are under caution yet again here at City Center Airport. The Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton. We'll be right back for the restart. Back at Edmonton, 13 laps to go with Derek Daly. I'm Rick Benjamin. Jan Beekes, Cameron Steele on pit road as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. 8th race of 2006 and a great battle here. Justin Wilson, your leader. Points leader Sebastian Bourdais, 2nd. The gap tight, Derek, 3/10 as we took the green a moment ago.
This is a straight dogfight here between Bourdais and Justin Wilson. There's Carl Russo, owner of Roo Sports. Right behind them, Tracy got passed by Serbia in a demon out braking maneuver into turn 1 right off the start.
They have swapped 4th, Tracy and Serbia, several times this afternoon. Allmendinger remains 3rd, 1.8 seconds back. You can get a glimpse of the Forsyth Index 7 car back there in 3rd.
There he is.
Just doesn't seem to quite have enough speed to get up and challenge for the lead here.
Okay, tighten your belts down, AJ. Take a big deep breath, white knuckles, because if you want to get points over Bourdais, you need to find a way to catch him and pass him. Cameron?
Well, I'm here with Carl Russo, the owner for Justin Wilson. Now, we've heard you joke around about Paul Newman and wanting to kiss him. Before the race, you guys did a high 10, so to speak, joking around. But right now, there's no joking around the racetrack between your 2 teams.
There's no joking around the racetrack at all. Sebastian and Justin are well and truly engaged in a battle. They've been battling for some 40 laps right now. Justin's been able to bring the CDW car to the front. We think he's got a good car on blacks, but everybody else is on reds, so we'll see.
Are you concerned a little bit right now with the setup, with the tire changes that happened in that last pit sequence?
No, I think Justin's very happy with the car right now, but we don't know what everybody else has got. So these first few laps look pretty good. Justin seems to be driving away. So there's no wood around here, but I started banging on it, so I don't have to kiss Paul Newman on the lips this week.
All right, thanks, Carl. We certainly hope there would be no kissing down here.
And there's no crying in baseball.
No, exactly. Now, the end of this race last year is when a lot of the trouble happened. These drivers are physically tired. The speeds are still very high. There is Allmendinger right there, still ahead of Oriol Servia. Tracy not able to stay with Servia.
Allmendinger, of course, trying for 4 in a row today. He's won the last 3 Champ Car World Series rounds. Hasn't led a lap yet here today. PT led his first laps of the season. Paul Tracy earlier, but Tracy at the moment 5th doesn't seem to have the speed to get up and challenge for the lead. There is Allmendinger, now races out of Loveland, Colorado. Former California resident, very young still, 3rd season in the Champ Car World Series, 3rd behind Wilson and Bourdais.
Yeah, but have a look at this, 61.3 for Wilson and Bourdais, 61.1 for Allmendinger. Of the first 5 cars, Allmendinger is the fastest at this particular time. Can he run Bourdais down?
And he's got more Cosworth power to pass time than either of the other 2 leaders at 37 seconds. Wilson is out in front by 1.1 seconds. Allmendinger another second back in 3rd position. Laps winding down, less than 10 to go here at City Center Airport in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Justin Wilson perhaps on his way to his first win of the season. Allmendinger and Bourdais want to have something to say about it. We'll be back. Seven laps to go as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. The Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton underway, 8th race of the year, and Justin Wilson has waved goodbye to Sebastian Bourdais. Derek, he's built the lead to almost 3 seconds with just a handful of laps to go.
He is in control now. After each session, he was a bit miffed as to why new tires did not go that much faster. New tires, when the rubber gets hot for the very first time, it usually gives you more grip, therefore more speed. He always liked his car on used tires, and this is proving just how good that car is well set up on used tires.
Now the gap between 2nd and 3rd, Allmendinger about a 1.5 seconds behind Bourdais. Cosworth power to pass on the left side of your screen. 75 horsepower on tap today, 725 the base horsepower. Show you what's remaining here. Jan Halen is out, Damada is out, Junqueira is out, Zwolsman. As you look at the contenders at the bottom of your screen, Oriol Servia is in one of the best positions of anyone. He's got the 6th most time left, Eric, and of the contenders, he's the strongest of those cars remaining. He's got 48 seconds of 75 additional horsepower left, but he's about 3 seconds behind A.J. Allmendinger as he tries to get close to 3rd. 6 laps to go, Jan Beekes.
And that 3 seconds with 6 laps to go with Jimmy Vasser, you've got power to pass time. Is it enough to close that gap and go for the podium?
Well, we hope so. You know, we funny story, I told him I'd pay him $1,000 if he used it on the restart. He doesn't like to use the button, but he pushed it, got the Gulfstream car past, the back past Tracy. We're hoping to run Allmendinger down, but with 5, 6 to go, it's not looking like it, but you know, anything can happen.
Now, why do drivers not want to use it? Why do you have to bribe them $1,000 to make it?
I think he tries to save it for the end or something, but you know, PT passed him on the first restart, and he didn't hit the button, so you know, it was just kind of a joke, but we got 5 to go here. It's probably going to be looking like we're going to be 4th, but you know, we're optimistic to get the Gulfstream car on the podium.
Still got some power to pass. You know, $1,000, that's a pretty good deal.
Maybe 1,000 more.
Yeah, right. I'm another check. You know, Jimmy Vasser has never actually retired from Champ Car racing, but I asked the question today, would he race again? And the feeling is he's done with Champ Car racing. Will race in sports cars, but the feeling is Jimmy is done with Champ Cars.
Well, that would be a shame if we don't see Jimmy Vasser strap on one of these missiles for the rest of the season. We were told he might drive a few more races this year. Carl Russo, the owner of the Rousport team, Justin Wilson's CDW entry, out in front, gunning for their first victory of 2006. The driver out of Great Britain won twice a year ago, including the season finale at Mexico City, 2nd in the championship a year ago. Hoping to steal the title this year from Bourdais. He's fought hard. Today, things have gone their way, Derek. 4 laps remain.
Group of people here from England that support Justin Wilson, part of the 900 who invested in his career on the British Stock Exchange. They literally wrote checks to fund the budget for him to be in Formula One, and they're still in the supporters club, and they're here this weekend to see their hero. Oh, What a weekend they may have here.
A.J. Allmendinger in third, went by a moment ago. Here is Serbia in the Gulfstream PKB car number 6. A nice fourth for Oriol Serbia. And Paul Tracy back there in fifth. PT in car number 3, the Forsyth Index entry. Started on the outside pole. Derek thought he had a tire going down. Thought he could win here today. It's got to be a frustrating afternoon for Paul Tracy.
And it's all about setup. All about what you get this car to do in and out of corners on the race day condition. And they did not hit it as well as the Rousport team did with Justin Wilson this weekend. But winning a championship or contending for a championship, oh, I love that shot again, is all about the average, being above average through the whole course of a season, as opposed to being brilliant on one day and terrible on the next day.
3 laps to go. Justin Wilson in the CDW car. Now remember, a year ago when he was leading, he spun with 4 laps to go and gave up the lead. So Justin Wilson, I'm sure, thinking about what happened here last season when he had the opportunity to win. Now here's Will Power in the Aussie Vineyards car number 5. And Derek, he had that huge wreck on Friday when he flew across the grass, hit one of the barriers, and one of our camera guys had to jump to safety. Leads the Roche Franz Rookie of the Year standings comfortably with 85 points. And Power may be the story of the day here because he's running 6th in that car number 5. He's the last car on the lead lap after coming back from this incident 2 days ago.
Lost it at high speed. Watch this. Loses it one way to the other way. Oh, 150 miles an hour back. Boom! Just destroys the Walker entry. Knows he's in deep trouble here. Boom! Sent our cameraman scurrying off the top of that platform. And just last week, he took a car to his primary school in Toowoomba. 10,000 people showed up to see him demonstrate, he and Tagliani, on a whirlwind tour of Australia promoting the Surfers Paradise race. But back to our leader. Justin Wilson is absolutely magic right now. You know, the strange thing is, I see Justin Wilson's head begin to lean outside the cockpit as if his neck muscles have got so sore and tired he doesn't have the strength to hold it up anymore.
Now it's been very hot here all weekend, as we've documented. Not quite as hot today as it was yesterday when it got very close to 100 degrees here. They expected temperatures to top out in the upper 80s today. And we started pretty early today, 11 o'clock local time, 1 o'clock Eastern. Wilson will see the white flag. He's seen the white flag. Last trip around this 1.9-mile, 14-turn circuit for Justin Wilson.
And that was David Brown that was standing beside Carl Russo. David Brown came to this team with a wealth of Formula One knowledge with teams like Williams and McLaren. And boy, they have had a great day today.
Justin Wilson with a good lead. His lead is 8 seconds over Sebastian Bourdais. You don't see Bourdais get passed and then get waxed like that very often.
And that's what happened today here. What a day here for Justin Wilson. You just had a sense after the warm-up this morning, and he wasn't the fastest in that. He was only 5th fastest, but he always said this car is good on multi-lap tires, which is what he's on right now.
Allmendinger 3rd, Serbia 4th, Tracy 5th, heading to the stripe. First time in 2006, Justin Wilson brings the CDW Rousport car number 9 home, the winner today of the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Edmonton. 2nd spot, the points leader Sebastian Bourdais. A.J. Allmendinger's string of 3 consecutive wins comes to an end. The young American will be on the podium, though. He finishes 3rd for the Index Forsyth Championship Racing Team. Wilson dishes up some donuts here in front of the fans at City Center Airport in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Serbia gets 4th, having passed Tracy again late in the race. Paul Tracy comes home 5th for the Forsyth team. Cameron Steele. Moments ago, Justin Wilson, to the applause of this huge crowd of fans in Edmonton, out of his car, the CDW9, to celebrate his first victory of 2006. This will put him back in 2nd spot in the Champ Car World Series Championship standings behind Sebastian Bourdais. Stalled the race car, and he's getting a toe in toward victory lane. So Wilson earning the applause of the near 100,000 spectators here today. Certainly close to 80,000. That was the number 1 year ago. In victory lane, Jan Bikas.
And while they tow in Justin Wilson, we'll take a moment to talk to Sebastian Bourdais. Sebastian, that 2nd set of tires seems as though you were really struggling.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. The car was, Magnum's car was really, really good to start with. We were able to pull away despite traffic, and yeah, we didn't save as much fuel as the others, but at the beginning, we were still able to kind of keep the gap. So I thought it was going to be a really good day, and second stint, I really don't know what happened, but completely lost the grip, lost the handling, and we had to accept defeat. I still would have liked to see what would have happened if Alex didn't run into me. I don't know what he did, but it was really a shame because we would have pit probably 4 laps later, and the car was just starting to kind of walk. So it's a shame, but what can we do?
It's a shame, but it's still lots of points.
Sebastian Bourdais does keep the championship lead with his second-place finish here today. Wilson getting the toe in front of this huge crowd. It's the opportunity to wave to the fans. There's that troubled turn 5 and 6 area where we saw so much difficulty today.
I want to know how he couldn't bump start this thing.
Yeah.
Did he blow it up?
Unless he ran out of fuel. All right, coming up next week, Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford next Sunday in San Jose. Check your local listings.
CBS Sports coverage of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford is sponsored by Bridgestone Tires, passion for excellence, and by Ford, bold moves.
Winner Justin Wilson still getting a toe in toward victory lane today. We're getting set to wrap up the CBS portion of our coverage. We want to remind all of our Canadian viewers to stay tuned to Global for special extended coverage from today's event. Let's get the thoughts of the third-place finisher, Cameron Steele.
I'm here with A.J. Allmendinger after 3 wins in a row. The podium, maybe not exactly what you're looking for, but you were sick as a dog going into this. How was it, your body conditioning, when you were out there?
I mean, it was tough for sure, but you got to fight through it, no excuses. The whole Forsyth Index team, they did a great job to give me a good car, and we had a tough weekend, third-place car, and that's how you stay in contention for a championship. So just thanks to Red Bull and the whole Forsyth team, everybody here at the track and at the shop. So thank you.
Right on, let's go over to Jan Beekes.
And Justin Wilson has finally made it here to Victory Circle. The celebration, the confetti going off. He'll quickly try to get the helmet off. Justin, let's get you to pop out of there as quickly as you can. Here he comes. Justin Wilson, first win of this season. Well alive in the points, and Justin, I guess it doesn't matter how you get the car to Victory Circle as long as you're P1.
Yeah, and I was thought I'd keep going to a few extra donuts for Derek. So it was the car was awesome all race, and was just really pleased to get the first win for the CDW number 9 team.
Tell me about the key moment. Certainly for you was a pit stop, taking less fuel, and then your battle with Bourdais, moving through.
Yeah, it was just great strategy by my engineers. They did a fantastic job and was able to run fast and close down the gap. And Sebastian made a mistake, and I managed to get by. So, yeah, it's feels pretty good.
This is a very physically demanding track. How'd you hold up?
That was tough. It's one of the toughest races. The arms are definitely getting heavy. It's harder to concentrate, but I just know I got a great car and just keep pushing harder and harder every lap.
Justin Wilson, good points day and a victory first of the season.
4 second-place finishes and finally his first win of the year. Your unofficial top 10. Bourdais second in front of Allmendinger, Servia, and Tracy. There's Power, last car on the lead lap in 6th position. Nice run for Ranger, Dominguez, Clark, and Zwolsman. Cameron Steele.
Jeremy Dale, the president for Roo Sport. You guys needed a big win this season. Now you have it. Do you think this can take you over the hump, start with some momentum?
Well, you know what? It was just a phenomenal effort for the team and a bittersweet day. Cristiano got caught in turn 1, and that was really disappointing. But, man, this 9 car, everyone just did such an awesome job. Congratulations to all of them. They really deserved it.
Thank you, Jeremy. Back up to the booth.
All right, Jeremy Dale, the team manager for Roo Sport, very pleased, of course. Justin Wilson back to second in the championship. Looks like it's going to be a good fight, Derek, between the top 3.
For the rest of the season, we look forward to this Allmendinger-Wilson-Bourdais fight. And don't know whether Tracy can join it, but we got an awesome championship fight on our hands.
The Rocheron's Rookie of the Year standings, Will Power is the leader by 12 over Dan Clark. Catherine Legg is third, Jan Halen, Zwolsman, and Nicky Pastorelli. celebrating going on in victory lane. Justin Wilson's first win. Next week, of course, the series in San Jose, California on a temporary street course for the second consecutive year. Improvements have been made there. Again, check your local listings for our coverage next Sunday afternoon. It's been a wild one, Derek Daly, and I think Justin Wilson made a statement here today.
He did indeed. I think that confidence lift will be good for the rest of the season.
Coming up next, CBS Sports coverage of racing continues. The American Le Mans Series Portland Grand Prix. Also today at 5 o'clock Eastern, conclusion of the world's toughest bike race, the Tour de France. See if American Floyd Landis could close the deal and bring home the yellow jersey. For Derek Daly, Jan Beekes, Cameron Steele, and Michelle Beisner, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating our winner today for the first time this year, Justin Wilson in victory lane. So long from Edmonton, everyone. Thanks for watching the Champ Car World Series. We will see you next time.